Hello, my name is Lilian Unachukwu, aka the Indaboski of the supermarket industry, and when you hear my voice, you know I'm bringing you fantastic news. So I am an entrepreneur in the food, fitness, and fashion space. I started out my first business in 2008 in the fashion space, Lilian Fashion. I started in fashion retail, and I went on from fashion retail, into the food space, and then into the fitness space, which I'll get into a little bit later. However, when I started my business in 2008, I decided that I wanted to retail men's fashion. Wasn't really sure how it was going to go, but it took off very well. And I found myself slowly styling people whenever they came into the store to buy products. They would ask me, how to wear a certain thing, or like how to pair, a shoe, with with a shirt. And, I slowly saw myself styling people. And then I decided to take that aspect seriously and started styling as a profession as well. And before I knew it, I was approached by companies, and so I also became a commercial stylist for brands like Hennessy, a lot of Nigerian A-list celebrities, actors and actresses. And that was going really well until I felt like I wasn't feeling that inspired anymore, or I felt like the challenge wasn't big enough anymore. And so I decided to go into the food space. I still kept up with the fashion business, but the fashion business had also at this point grown to also incorporate women's fashion as well. I was also styling females in the industry and decided to try out with the food space. So how that kicked off was I was actually moving locations from my current boutique to a bigger space, and the emotional attachment of the fashion store made me not want to close it down, and I figured, why don't I try this out as my first grocery store, since it was a smaller space, and that's how I dabbled into food as well. And in that time, I also went into the fitness space. So your girl has done over 8 businesses in the retail space. I have actually never worked a day in my life for anyone else, but I started out saying I wanted to do retail straight after my NYSC, because I did face several challenges, starting out as a young businesswoman. But every challenge made me want to find a solution. So I'm very self-taught. That's another interesting thing I find about myself, is the fact that I never went for training for any of the businesses that I currently run today. Instead, I actually researched my way to where I am. So I actually went online and learned every single thing that I know today. Every time I hit a red stop, how did other people who reached this red stop, make it out of this red stop? And that is literally how I kept on building every step of the way till, I am where I am today. I have faced unbelievable challenges just being an entrepreneur. First of all, at the age at which I started, the country in which I started, just being the gender in which I started, have all come together to be like huge challenges. However, one of the main things that I would say getting me through every challenge has been my mental state. So let me sort of touch on 1 or 2 of the challenges. First of all, in Nigeria, one of the things is certain systems not being in place to help entrepreneurs grow. People don't have some, relatives or friends who can give them a bit of money to start out. But originally, how we're meant to start out is, being able to think through your idea, coming up with a business plan, and then going to an institution like a bank, sit down and show, your proposal on what you want to ask for a loan and what you intend to use that loan for. And even if you're not giving the entire sum of what you're asking for, because it's a new thing that you're about to start, you're fresh off the boat, you're fresh out of school. Now in Nigeria, just like I'm saying, when someone who is a first timer comes up and wants to be an entrepreneur, even if you don't give them all of the money, Because one of my companies was a shoe company that I started out without a dime, just gut and grit. I went into Lagos Island, found products, took pictures of the products, put them online, put the price tag, and every time I got a sale, I contacted the person who had the store in the market to do the delivery for me. All my packaging material was already handed to them, and I started that business without having to physically dole out money, just legwork of going to the physical location, taking products, putting down details, uploading them online and being able to sell. And at this time, I didn't even use a website. I used a social space, which was Instagram. So when it comes to challenges as far as being a business woman in Nigeria, it's enormous. As far as Nigeria, when it comes to finance, it's a big challenge for entrepreneurs in the workspace. Another big challenge that we have is a lot of factors that are meant to work in Nigeria do not work as much as they are meant to, and so businesses suffer a lot for this. And the only thing that I can say that literally has pulled me through to be at the stage that I'm at today is gut and grit, and always looking for a solution in the midst of the challenge. So in my space, how I have embraced equity is, number one, first of all, in my stages of employment, my first staff ever was a female. Today she's married with 2 kids. In my current, organization right now, we are balanced when it comes to female staff and our male staff. So one of the main ways I feel that equity can be embraced in bigger and more organizations in Nigeria and around the world is, first of all, taking out the fact that one gender is better than the other. The only thing is, each gender may be different, but none is better than the other. Because where one holds a strength, the other's strength matches. And where one proves weak, the other person's strength holds them together. So I would almost describe it as what they say, the yin and yang. One cannot really do without the other. And so what does that make us? Equals. Equality doesn't mean, trying to prove a point. Equality just means acknowledging another person's strength to being as good as yours. When we want to embrace equity, it's looking at a woman as a human and just asking the simple question, can you get this done? Have I ever been discriminated as a woman in business? I'll be honest, no, I haven't. And I'll tell you why. I want to think, or I want to believe, that it's because of my strength of character. So for me, as far as being able to advise anyone as a female who finds themselves being discriminated in the workspace, in any environment that they find themselves in simply because of their gender, I would say to such a woman, you would need to hone down, dig deep, look on the inside of yourself, and remember who and what you are. That yes, you are a female does not make you a weaker sex. Why I say this is, being an entrepreneur, though I've not been discriminated against, I can see, I've had situations where people sort of give the expression of, are you sure you can handle it? Not full discrimination, because again, I am the owner of the business, but there's that sort of, back sort of attitude like, are you sure you can deliver? And so it's up to me to make you see that I can deliver in my best possible capacity. My name is Lilian Unachukwu, and I embrace equity.